Welcome to Spotlight 5. I'm Patty Harkin, and I'm so glad you've joined us today to see who's in the spotlight. There's a lot in the news lately about the drug heparin, and the FDA confirming that there was a contaminant in heparin between September 2007 and February 2008. Attorney Stephen Goldberg has represented people in this matter and is here to tell us even more. Welcome, Stephen. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So what is heparin?
Heparin is a vital prescription drug that's used for patients that are undergoing certain medical procedures like cardiac surgery, hemodialysis. It's used to prevent the catheters from clotting. It's also used for treatment of patients that have deep vein thrombosis and or pulmonary embolism, and it prevents the further extension of an existing clot.
So there was a contaminant in this?
There was a contaminant, and that contaminant is called over-sulfated chondroitin, and it was deliberately placed in the product in the raw materials that came from China. The raw material is generally from pig intestine, and they use this over-sulfated chondroitin sulfate instead, and that is a naturally occurring substance that mimics heparin. However, it's not permitted in the use of heparin, and it's not permitted for human consumption in the United States.
So when you say it was deliberately put in, was it put in to harm people, or was it put in for a cheaper way to make it?
A cheaper way to make it, and as a result of that, people have suffered some severe allergic reactions, and some of those reactions have been fatal. In fact, there's been 240 some reported deaths already from the contaminated heparin itself.
So if you were exposed to it, how would you know?
If you were exposed, and that's a good question because there seems to be a lack of public awareness about whether or not somebody's been exposed, but some of the symptoms that you or your loved one might undergo would be severe shock, crashing blood pressure, organ failure, death, diarrhea, sweating, nausea, vomiting, things like that.
So the heparin that's out there now
is safe.
Is safe.
Yes. It was the contaminated heparin that we're talking about, and that's what we're filing lawsuits for right now in the Northern District of Ohio in Toledo.
So who's being held accountable for this?
We're going after a number of the distributors and drug companies that were putting it in the marketplace. We know that from the time frame of September of 2007 until about February of 2008, there were about 22 million vials placed into distribution, and out of those 22 million vials, about 80% of them were contaminated, and many people didn't know that, including the healthcare providers.
Okay, well, thank you, Stephen. If you'd like have any questions, you think you may have known someone affected by this, please receive a free consultation by contacting 877-FDA-WARNS. And remember, for more information on how to contact our guests, go to newsnet5.com.